So the first one was if you guys want to at any time, this is already up on the website, dementiaradio.org/Ken. I made it pretty simple. I made a cool little timeline thing where I put all the big events with inside Dementia Radio and some of the other big dementia events, and I already put it up on the news group, so a lot of you have already seen it. So I've been working on it for a couple years now, and like I want to put this out for the 10th anniversary. So it's a cool little thing. Oh yay, this one loaded. So the next one I wanted to talk about is this is what I call the Dementia Radio birth certificate. I don't know how much of this you can actually read from back there. Let me turn off some of my bars. I know which one I can turn off. Cancel. Oh well, let's do this. So this is November 2nd, 2000, and this is the email I got from the server when I set up the virtual server for the first time. So this is kind of like Dementia Radio's birth certificate. So I got it November 2nd, and it's just, you know, hey Bill, we got your stuff, blah 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 blah. So the first, oh, damn it! I was gonna give out candy bars. I forgot to bring my candy bars. I'm just nuts. I bought a big bag of candy bars and I was going to give out to the people who guessed answers correctly, but oh well. So the first server we had was this thing called iServe, and this is just the email I got from them saying, hey, you're already set up. So that's why sometimes we say that the date of Dementia Radio is November 2nd, and sometimes we say November 6th. The first day I had access to the server was November 2nd, and then sometimes the actual first day I started casting was November 6th. Basically what happened is I think it was pretty much Halloween night that Zathras of Warp Radio said, I give up, I'm done. November 2nd, I'm like, I want to do this. So I went out and got a server. So, Luke? Now, Luke, you had some shows on Warp Radio.
Well, I had gotten the idea for my show, which was called Dementia Revolution, and I was living in Kansas City at the time, and I had just like, and I have no records of like the dates of any of this kind of.
I tried to find dates of your show too, and I can't find any
basically. Very much out of nowhere in early 2000, my father passed away, and that led to me deciding to move from Kansas City back to Wisconsin, just because I've been feeling for a while that my life in Kansas City was not. It wasn't. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Thank you. It wasn't as fruitful. Basically, the caricature stand I had been running at a casino, like, seemed to be making less and less money as time was going on, and I just kind of got fed up with being far away. I had started dating Stephanie, who became my first wife, and she's still a good friend to this day. And I just kind of, my father's passing, and my sister, really needing, love and family support because she was the one mainly dealing with his estate. Just kind of made me decide that's it. I'm gonna move home. So I moved back to Wisconsin. And so basically, the point was, I just started like, hey, I'm going to do this show. And I think, I can't even remember how many episodes I did. It had to have been at least one I did from Kansas City. And then shortly after that is when it ended up being like, I'm bugging out. So because I moved from there to my mom's house for like 8 months in the year 2000, she didn't really have, good internet access, and it just didn't make any sense for me to try to start doing the show then. It wasn't until I had moved in with Stephanie when she and I, or when I kind of got to the point where I felt like, all right, I can start, going back to this idea of doing the show again. So
yeah, and actually as you noticed, I already have the timeline of what happened Dementia Radio-wise. I went back through all my emails and did a bunch of research on this. So the next item we have is Bill's announcement of Dementia Radio. So this is actually the actual email I sent out. Before I do this, okay, what was the first URL, the main name that we streamed Dementia Radio off?
Dementia.com.
You're wrong.
Oh?
You're wrong. You get a candy bar for knowing the official answer, but you're wrong. Here's the actual answer. the first one we cast off was putwell.iserve.net. We didn't have the dementiaradio.org pointed to that server the first night I cast. So this is November 6, 2000. So, I have some bad news. Warp Radio is dead. But the day it died, I went out and got my own server. So eventually it'll be under the line of Dementia.com. So in the context of all this, me and Luke, based on some experiences at Alcon, were like, hey, let's start a Dementia convention. So we got the landofdementia.com for the Dementia 2001 convention that he and I ran. And so when Warp Radio died, I'm like, I want to do a show. So there was no planning of Dementia Radio. There was no, hey, let's call it Dementia Radio. Let's have it be at this website. It was like, panic mode. So I'm like, we'll just shove it under Dementia Radio, the landofdementia.com. What do we call it? Oh, Dementia Radio. There we go. Done. So there was no planning. It evolved strictly from me wanting to do a show, and hey, I might as well let other people on this as well.
Again.
Yeah.
You're a DJ on Dementia Radio.
Problem A, I'd be singing the screen and B, carry. I was rolled by you guys.
Yeah, and if people want to jump in at various times, jump in.
I help purify the conscience.
So we'll host something. So, and then we even had the random cast way back there. So the random casting all day long. So back then we didn't have the automatic, when the stream dropped, it dropped down to the random cast. I didn't figure that out until 7 years later, but I finally got it, damn it. So what I did is I just hooked up my computer to the internet and just cast it all day long, so that I had a built-up audience by the time the show came along. I didn't just pop up out of nowhere. So this is the first day I cast as Dementia Radio, but I can't find an email where I actually called it Dementia Radio for the first time. So I don't know if I called it Dementia Radio for that first night or not. You have a question? Okay. So what's the second one here? The first announcement of Chris's show. Actually, if you look at the dates here, Chris announced started doing his show first before Luke. I always thought that Luke was on with me. I thought it was me, Keterman, and Luke first. But going through the thing, it was me, Luke, and Keterman. Me, Chris, and Keterman. So on March 26, 2001, Chris's first incarnation of his show was announced, and so I used to do this thing called the Dementia Radio newsletter back before we had Facebook and stuff to announce stuff. Oh, look at my atrocious spelling back then.
Back then.
Nowadays I have an automatic thing that pops up that goes, you have a misspelled word. I can correct it right away, so my spelling is better. I didn't have that back then. I didn't care. Dementia Radio. Listeners. So here we're using the livedementia.com port 8000, and so the. So Dementia Radio is proud to welcome Power Salad's Cream Cheese Library to our lineup. Cream Cheese Library premiere this Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right before the total elevating moment. So it used to be me, used to be Chris, then me on Monday nights. So that was the first time Chris did a show.
Well, the orange one.
So tell us about the origins of your show, Mr. Power Salad.
Well, if I can remember back that far, it was such a long time ago. I seem to recall, well, first of all, it had to have been before. I seem to recall Luke saying to me, hey, you really got to get in on the Dementia chat. You got to get on the IRC. And I said, what's that?
We met you at Alcon.
Yes.
And that's how I think we got you involved in stuff.
Alcon 98 is where I met you,
Yep.
Stephanie, Devo, Chris, many friends that are very important to me to this day. So yes.
Thank you, Amanda.
Yes.
Hi, Jeff. And it was talked up.
It's
AOL.
I used to talk to you on AIM all the time.
Okay.
That's how we chatted.
Okay. Well, okay. It's all coming back to me now, maybe.
We're just going to tell you.
I was listening, and I was saying, hey, this is cool, and then do you want to do a show? And I said, yeah, I'd like to do a show where I could put my own spin on things. And I suppose I kind of, obviously it's modeled after the Dr. Demento show, obviously. I mean,
we all kind of did.
we're all inspired,
Yeah.
you know. But I wanted to take it a little step further and go back to kind of the roots of his show, and I started, well, first of all, it was pre-recorded for the first, I don't know, a couple months at least. I pre-recorded my show for the first.
Oh yeah, that's right, because I actually have all your old discs.
Yeah.
And Chris would pre-record a show, snail mail me the disc, and I would cast it before my show. That's why, that's why it says do it before my show, because it was just easier that way. I would put your show on, do my show, and then put your show on again, I think.
Yeah.
And then eventually we moved you to being able to do live.
Yeah, well, because I could, all this technology, boy, and I wanted to really get, I wanted to move out of what playing all our own music, because, you know, we have a great mutual admiration society going on anyway, which is great. But I wanted to kind of do the more of the Demento thing, and I have 78s in my collection, and I have a lot of weird stuff that not too many other people have, so that's kind of where I wanted to put it. I was trying to come up with a name for it, and some of you know this, and what if you ought to have a payday for what's the origin of the Cream Cheese Library name?
I don't know.
I told somebody last night, but
You told me.
I told you. Okay. What is it?
Cheating.
It comes from the Green Shield Library. She runs a Green Shield Library, isn't that one she told me one?
Yay!
Give me a candy bar.
Give somebody else a
Go on!
Almost! He names people with it.
I misheard a lyric in a Bonzo Dog Band song. And I thought, well, that's pretty demented. She runs a green cheese library, saves everything she's got for her wedding day. And I thought, that's pretty demented, so I used that. And only like a year ago, I saw the lyrics. And it's like, oh, Green Shield Library, like green stamps, trading stamps, saving up for your wedding day to buy stuff for your household. Oh, well, it stuck. And it's Powers House Green Cheese Library. And I did it for a number of years.
You did it for a number of years.
Until I think I had a computer problem. I either switched computers or something, and I just could not get the Shoutcast to work. And there were other issues.
Well, that was back in the day when the old version of Shoutcast was horrible with certain configurations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you had a lot of problems with that. What I always loved is that you called your studio the, does anyone remember the name of Chris's studio? The studio under the stairs. I love that name. You want a candy bar?
Because it literally was.
So yeah, so when you move to a new theater, I'm like, or a studio, I'm like, what's your new studio? And I don't think it's I think it should be the studio above the garage, but what's I can't remember what it is now.
My new studio is called Spitting Otter Studios.
Yeah. So. So Chris's show was always very eclectic, and it just brought a different feel to the radio station, which I loved. And we were very sad when he stopped being able to cast. I remember you and I used to sit on the, for some reason I had a lot of time. Oh, that was when I had my job where I had nothing to do all day except stay on the internet, which was awesome for planning Dementia 2000. But I was bored as hell. I'm like, please give me something to do at work. If you ever just have nothing to do but sit on the internet all day long, you get bored.
Much text was.
But you and I, you would sit on IRC and we would just talk about all kinds of stuff. And actually, I gave you access to my home computer so that we could start fixing MP3 tags.
Yes.
Because my collection back then was horrible, and it improved for a while, and it's horrible again.